Good morning to Varanasi. It's wonderful to be talking to you young girls. When I was invited to talk here, I wondered, do I have anything of importance? Something out of the ordinary, something that could be interest to the audience here, that may resonate with the young girls that are here today, their parents. Do I have something that could inspire, not pontificate, but perhaps guide them in their journey in the future? You know, to my mind, life is a series of challenges, of choices, and of course coincidences. When we have traveled down this path with awareness, when we introspect, you just become mindful of this. Life anyway just goes on, things will happen, but if you are mindful of it, then you can make your conscious choices, you can make your path, and the path will never be linear. The path will change, it will throw curveballs at you, there will be choices and decisions to be made. So how do you steer through life? I have gone through my life in a particular fashion which I would like to share with you. The first choice as an adult that you make is career. I came from a privileged background, from an elite education, and the career was the first choice I had to make. The question was, what should it be all about? I had a dream to fly, I had a dream to be independent, I have a dream to be powerful, to be able to achieve in whatever task I was doing. I was totally not conscious of the competition, of the hunger out there. But with the matrix of choices available to me, I decided civil services is something I would like to get into. People say that times are changed now, things are different today, but let me tell you, that time too, there were societal pressures, there was pressure to conform, there were people who were always willing to run you down, or people who were better than you. But you know what? It's not about this particular world. In our times, okay, you'll say things were different. Yes, it was more about our proximate world. We had such pressures from people in tens or hundreds. You all are operating in a world, not only in the proximate world, but also the whole virtual world. So perhaps your pressure is more in hundreds and thousands. But you know, it's all about how you absorb or repudiate that pressure. That'll actually define the kind of person, the kind of challenges and the charge that you will take of your life. My mother at that point of time, I remember, you know, that she suggested that why don't you take this particular career option, because other cousins had taken that career option. And I looked at her, I said, no, I'm meant for bigger and better stuff in life. I decided that what I was being suggested was not me. Maybe I was going to be, you know, putting that pitch, that mark for myself even higher. So first thing I would suggest is believe in yourself. If you have that conviction, if you make that choice for yourself, you will work towards it. After having made this, I said, I'm not going to go down the tread path just because others were doing it. You might say, so says a bureaucrat who's going down such a tread path. But you know, the tread path, even for a bureaucrat or in life for anybody, life is not linear. Life is always going to throw you different challenges. Life is going to swerve in different fashions. So even if I'm a bureaucrat, let me tell you, we've had to take turns, we've had to take decisions as we go along. First thing, you must figure out what excites you. What is your priority? Where do you want to see yourself? What will interest you? I chose the Indian Revenue Service. I came from economics, finance, accounting. These are things which I had trained in, I was interested in. District life, police life, society, social sector, I had no exposure to, I had no interest in these. So I worked with commitment, with passion, with energy in the revenue service, and I was doing very well. I was getting due recognitions, I was making my mark, I was being appreciated. But just then, you have another choice to make. What matters to you? What is the trajectory you want to see your life? What are you creating? What is the world that in which you want to actually exist? And that's when I talk to you young girls, when we talk about empowerment. Empowerment is not only about career and financial independence, etc. It's a whole gamut of things. In this, my husband, who's also my batchmate and a very dear friend, we decided that we wanted to start our family. We had our 2 young boys. They were the priority at that stage. Career doing well, but stop. let's reorient, rethink. And we made our children our priority. I stepped back. I became a full-time mom, an at-home mom. There was a lot of pleasure in that. But then restlessness sets in. You know, you want to do more with your life. Then you have the choice to make. Do you want a restful life, or do you want a restless life? Restlessness means that you have to move away from the calm, set path. You have to choose something again out of your comfort zone. We decided to change city. I moved to a vibrant new job, if I can say, moved to the powers of corridor as a junior officer, but to work in the policy space, very vibrant, very difficult timelines, a lot of high expectations, a lot of slog, a lot of hard work, a lot of insecure bosses as well, if I can say that. A lot of work was going into this. This is a job that I had opted for, chosen, but be careful what you choose for. Was I happy here? I decided that this was success, but was it meaningful? Was it a complete life? It was not. It was just not keeping me happy, because in my empowerment, it was not only about job, it was about so many other aspects of life which I seemed to be missing out. And now comes the word coincidence. A chance meeting with a senior colleague who's also my mentor. He spoke about another job opportunity, which was academic in nature. Let me tell you, this kind of an academic job is not what most IRS officers would want to work in. But that was what me wanting to learn to do things differently. I landed up with the Finance Commission, talking about the country's finances, devolution, you know, the whole horizontal and vertical devolution of funds, to understand the workings of the government. Very interesting, very academic. You know, most of the people in my family had studied at Harvard. This assignment actually got me to do a course at Harvard. I was very happy. One more box ticked in life. And from a path that was not tread by most. It was from a path chosen by me, looking at what interests me, what my life framework was, what my matrix of happiness was, and I was happy that it actually meant that I could do what I wanted to do. My family, my husband and I and children, we found ourselves in Australia. Wonderful life going on, it was a little holiday going on, but you know, idyllic life can also get, I mean, too much of good stuff is also not so good. Too much of idyllic life, and I said, you know, we are in our mid-30s, in our mid-career. Should we be actually leading just such a peaceful and good life? Should we not be challenging ourselves? Should not be learning, climbing the professional path? I decided, enough of idyllic, let's step back, let's go back to India. And I landed up doing assignments. Assignments as varied as culture, museum, intangible arts, history, books, museums, very interesting. Followed by another assignment which was ocean development, ocean temperature, tsunami, seaweed, copper nodules. Very interesting work. You might say that, so finally you had arrived. Yes, it was a lot of learning, a lot of knowledge, very good trajectory. But guess what? Here I was facing knowledge constraints. As I had mentioned earlier, I was more of an accounts, finance, an economics person. So knowledge constraint, a lot to be worked on. Exposure, great. Knowledge, great. Career trajectory, perhaps a little iffy. So I decided, okay, let's work on another skill set. Everybody in my family had done law. I've always had this feeling, as you people talk about FOMO, feeling of missing out. What's out there which I don't really know all about? That's when I decided to enroll into my law degree. When you are in your middle life and wanting to do a full-time course, evening course, it's quite a challenge, because you have full-time life, your professional commitment, your personal commitments, your family commitments, and a full-time degree to work on. There were many times, let me tell you, when I wanted to step off. I said, this is just too much. But my supportive husband said, you can do it. I completed it. I'm proud to have completed it. It was another task accomplished, another job done, another challenge, a choice that I had made for myself. So girls, I always tell you that if it's a challenge that you have accepted out of choice, it is something which you will find fulfilling, that you will feel proud to have walked down that particular path. some tax assignments later, I decided that I must step out of my comfort zone yet again and do a personal challenge. It was to actually fight elections for a board of directors for a charitable Section 8 company. Now this is something I need not have done. This is actually checking my personal ability. This is the first time I actually had to sell my persona, to say this is what I am, this is what I believe in. I was dealing with divergent expectations. You know, I was walking on the eggshells of different interest groups, all of them very powerful, to have actually been able to influence my personal life, my professional life. But I put myself out there to be tested, to actually be in a leadership role. You see, so far it was very middle management that was going on. Now, here in this kind of an assignment, I'm actually talking a leadership role. I'm talking about giving direction to a situation which is sort of tricky. Yes, interesting work, challenging. You're not everybody's favorite all the time, but then you're not out there to be Miss Popularity. All people don't get you all the time, but you don't need to, bother about all the people all the time. I learned that all that matters was being human, being sincere, being in the space where you are clear about the work that you're doing and what your thought process is. Why are you doing the work, and what is the thought that you have behind doing this? And if you're clear on all this and you keep your humanness alive, let me tell you, it gets you the due respect. Till date, when I go back to that organization, I'm happy to note that the middle management there, the staff, all gives me the respect because I was human, I was not insincere, and I did the job to the best of my ability. I really feel that if you have been addressing any job with these parameters, personally I don't think you will fail, but even if you have not succeeded in that particular manner, you have your self-satisfaction that you have done a good job. The work assignments were anyway going on along the side. This was a personal challenge. I had actually stepped out of my professional space to do this. Now the new government had come into place. I wanted to be in the policy matter. I wanted to be a part of the central government where so much excitement was happening. The government had started on a great new momentum. Lots of policy matters were being addressed. There were opportunities for us. There was sectors that were so far that had been in morass were being stirred out. I was happy to say that I did get selected to an industry which was a hardcore business world, based out of production, out of physics and chemistry. And I had not done science beyond class 10th. So it was again back to books, again back to the blackboard, learning your C and an O and an H, learning your chemistry, learning physics process. But if you stay on the learning curve, let me tell you, it is a case when you'll always stay vibrant. And what is vibrant? Vibrant is when your list of things to do is larger than your things of done so far in life. I mean, as I said earlier, when I contested the election, the club elections, that was another, if I may say, a vibrant part of personality that I need not have done it, but I did it. Similarly here, this particular assignment with the central government ministry is not something I need to have done, but I wanted to do it. These were the kind of tasks, these kind of challenges that I found a lot of my peers were not accepting. They were now, senior and were falling into this trap of somewhere being negative, somewhere sort of, saying, what's my life all about? But it's not for you to just keep saying, what's your life all about? You have to keep recreating your life, recreating the challenges, recreating the options that are available for you. And I'm very happy to say that I did work hard. I did get to participate in the high table of policy making at the national and international level. I did represent the country at the OECD at Paris. I did represent the industry at the WTO at Geneva. I did get to lead delegations from Argentina to Japan and a lot of other countries, and also talk about carbon mitigation, etc. at the COP, the climate change facilities. Very interesting exposure. All your rough edges get rounded off. You start talking in an international language. It is something that I think is very heady, very impactful. It makes you feel good about your country, about your industry. And today India is on such a growth path that actually you're so proud to be representing your country in all these respects. So yes, the participation came, the recognition came, the promotion came with a lot of hard work, with a challenge accepted and the choice to work hard. So it was a task well done at a time when most other people were sort of slowing down in their career paths. These were the happy stories. I also want to tell you that along with these happy stories, on the side, life keeps throwing you curveballs. One of the curveballs I had to face just before the elections that I had talked about is that I was diagnosed with cancer. The C word is a very scary word. Your family goes in a state of shock. Suddenly everybody starts thinking of, all those people bald without eyebrows, all things, life starts looking finite. But, all you need that time, and that's when I talk about empowerment, you need to have your support structures in place. And who are your support structures? Your support structures always are your family and your friends. They sail you through all such tough moments of life. So while you are surging ahead in your careers, in your quest for money, power, impact, profession, etc., always be mindful that the whole gamut also includes your personal space. What is your success? It also means a lot of your personal life. And that personal life helped me in these tough times. I discovered great friends, family, my husband. Everybody just said, what are you getting so dramatic about? It's just a challenge. You got to do what you got to do. Let's just go through the treatment. They said it was like a big social event. They made a little party out of it. And they said, throw out the negativity. Just let's all be positive. One more challenge accepted, choice made to get well, choice to be positive, and soon the C word was behind us. That's when I really realized that we cannot afford to be unidirectional in life. No aspect of life can be only one part of our being. And especially as women, if I can say so, I think we are intuitive, we can multitask, we have the ability to take on a lot onto our plate, and we can actually accept societal norms, societal pressures, yet deliver in the space that is available to us. Now that was a tough challenge for, I think, all of us to face. All of us were very worried about our near and dear ones, about our families. There were illnesses, there were scars, there were marks left on all of us. I was worried I think all of us were, about our elderly parents. And then there was the fear, I too was called a vulnerable one because I was a survivor. And then there was the threat of malignancy again, metastasis again, treatments to be done again. This time, age was not on one side. There were losses. We had to bear those losses. And you were not alone in the losses, but that time you're not so mindful of losses being suffered by others. You are also worried and vulnerable in your own space, because this was a challenge that you had not asked for. So far the challenges one had asked for, you sort of saw them coming and you had a choice. This time there was no choice to be made. It was a game that you just had to play. What was my learning from here again? Again, my learning was, be careful as to the world that you create around yourself. The world is full of choices of the people you keep on your planet, of the thought process that you keep with you, positivity or negativity. If you choose not to keep negative thoughts and negative people on your planet, but keep only people who empower you, I think that'll help you sail your boat in life rather effectively. Be serious about your work, but don't be serious as a person. You must keep your youthfulness, the child in you, alive. And if you have the correct choice of friends, and friends don't just happen, they are investments to be made. You have to choose them, keep in touch with them. They keep you going, you keep them going. In tough times, they make sure that you don't fall off the track, and in good times, they make sure that you stay on the track. I think it's important in life that you keep the relevant people in your life. Don't clutter your life. Keep only the chosen ones. They should only are the people who should have a say in your life. When we go to talk about empowerment, as I think we are all talking about today, to this young audience, I will say, don't tread the path just because it has been tread. Be aware of your own strengths. Be aware of what works for you. Societal pressure will always be there. But if you have conviction within yourself for what you want to see yourself, I think that will help you guide. And that is not a linear path, and that's not a one-time option. It will have to keep changing. And it is not only about career, it is also about family. Empowerment comes when you are strong physically, emotionally, financially, in all respects. And this I also say for wellness. Wellness is actually one step beyond. It's about physical, mental, and spiritual. I think it's important that you keep your personal world, which will hold you together. You might feel, well, it works for you, it doesn't work for me. No, it's a work in progress. It has to be done continuously. I think that's my take on wellness. Where do I see myself going from now? Shortly, some time, I will retire. I feel that it's family, especially the elderly, who had invested. Actually, at your perspective, even I'm elderly, but from my perspective, the elderly is one more. They've invested in us when they were young. It's now time for us to actually give back to them. I'm not talking in terms of a seriousness, I talk in terms of fun and laughter. Don't let them be on the fringes, involve them in social activities. They still have life and a need to enjoy life, to smile and not be put on the shelf as senior citizens. My take on that is involve them in happy events of your life, in fun and laughter, make them a part of your everyday life. And then life, with their blessings, I'm sure there will be empowerment, there will be wellness, and there will be happiness.